Welcome into the Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we will look at the wide receiver trade options for your Baltimore Ravens. Before we get to that, though, a little poll time here on the Rundown. I want to know, do you think the Ravens will win 10 games or more in 2022? If you do believe so, then go ahead and like today's video. If not, comment and tell me why. But if you believe that the Ravens will win 10 games or more, go ahead and hit that like button. We'll get started with the show. Trade for a wide receiver. That has been a question that's been asked for quite some time. But with a recent new development, it might be time to start shopping the wide receiver market. The Draft Network has named 3 different wide receivers that the Ravens should trade for. We'll break those all down in just 1 second. But you may be wondering, why now? The Ravens have taken this entire offseason to not shop around when it comes to wide receivers. But one thing has changed now, comparably speaking, to the last several months, and that is the injury front for the Ravens at wide receiver. Tylan Wallace dealing with a knee issue. James Proche has a soft tissue issue. And then tight end Charlie Kolar, who is expected to be a very good rookie tight end and a big part of the Ravens passing game eventually. He's still dealing with that sports hernia issue himself. So with that said, that's just where the injuries are right now with the wide receiving core. And who knows if more could stack up later. So with that, here is the Ravens wide receiving core as things stand right now. Rashad Bateman, your number 1 wide receiver. Devin Duvernay, your number 2. James Proche holding things down in the slot. And I've told you that I think this Ravens wide receiver group is better than what people give it credit for. And although we've seen guys like Shamar Bridges step up and Tylan Wallace, we're waiting to see if he can have that breakout possibly. There's just uncertainty with a young group and dealing with these injuries. It might be the safe bet to go ahead and bring in another wide receiver if you're the Baltimore Ravens at this point in time. So we will reveal all those options in just 1 second. But before we get to those options, our pinned comment today: should the Ravens trade for a wide receiver? Let me know in the comment section if you believe so. If you do, type Y for yes. If not, type N for no. Let me know in the comment section. Y for yes, N for no. So option number 1, Nelson Agholor, wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Agholor has had a very successful career in the National Football League to this point. And here is what the Draft Network had to say about the idea of bringing Agholor to Baltimore. The Patriots receiver room has become awfully crowded this offseason. Nelson Agholor, Jacoby Myers, and Kendrick Bourne were joined by Devontae Parker and Tyquan Thornton. All 5 receivers have alternated with the first-team offense throughout training camp. If the Patriots were satisfied with Agholor's performance last season, they wouldn't have spent premium capital to acquire 2 receivers in the offseason. Agholor to the Ravens makes sense. Here are the numbers on Nelson Agholor the last 4 seasons. As you can see, not bad, in particular going back to 2020 when he was able to pull in close to 900 receiving yards and a touchdown. Still some good football, even in the later stages of Nelson Agholor's career at this point. We mentioned a Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, joined New England in 2021 after previously playing for the Raiders and with Philadelphia. Has 1 year and about $14.88 million left on his current deal. So he wouldn't necessarily be cheap, but I don't think he would cost you that much when it comes to what you would have to give up for Nelson Agholor either. So with that, got a question for you guys. If you looked at the Ravens receiving core, where things stand right now, we showed you where it's at this point in time without adding anybody. What's your confidence level in the Baltimore Ravens wide receiving core right now? If you had to scale it 1 through 10, how would you scale it? Let me know in the comment section one way or the other. Put a number on it, where your confidence level is with the Ravens receiving core. Today's show is presented by BetUS, and we're offering a great deal for Ravens Rundown viewers. If you use the promo code CHAT125 at checkout, BetUS is going to give you a 125% deposit bonus. And you may be asking yourself, well, Tyler, what does that mean? Well, let's say you throw down $100 in bets. They are going to give you a free $125 to spend. It's free money. It's like ordering a pizza and getting a second pizza and then another slice for free. It's quite the deal, and it's available just for viewers of the Ravens Rundown at chatsports.com/bet. And you can even bet on Sunday's preseason game between the Cardinals and the Ravens. The Ravens favored at 6.5. The Cardinals and Ravens expecting to be a high-scoring affair of sorts with the over-under total at 39. So do you take the over? Do you take the under? I know producer Sam's going to be taking the over. Life's too short to bet the under, right? So go ahead and get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125 to get your 125% deposit bonus and get your bets in for Sunday's game. A couple more options. Let's look at Darius Slayton of the New York Football Giants. Slayton has had a very good career to this point, and here is what the idea of bringing Slayton to Baltimore looks like, according to the Draft Network. Darius Slayton is a prime candidate to be traded or released before Week 1 marks its arrival. The Giants have a clear top three at receiver in Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, and Kadarius Toney. Behind them, Slayton has forfeited reps to training camp standout Colin Johnson. Once touted as an intriguing deep-speed threat, Slayton could potentially help the Ravens replace the field-stretching ability their offense lost when they traded Marquise Brown to the Arizona Cardinals. The Giants have a surplus at receiver, and the Ravens could utilize Slayton's skill set. So here is the numbers from Darius Slayton the last 3 seasons. As you can see, the first 2 years of his career were really solid with 8 touchdowns his rookie year, a career high in receiving yards in 2020. But last year was quite the dip, 26 receptions, 339 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Slayton right now is on the final year of a $2.59 million left of that deal. Started just 5 games last year for the former 5th-round pick. So he could be an intriguing option that salary-wise is significantly better than Nelson Agholor is. We have one more option to get to, but before we go there, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to the Ravens Rundown. If the Ravens add a wide receiver, whether that be trade or free agency, you know we're going to cover it here on the channel. We cover this team like no one else does with the latest news, rumors, trades, free agency, and more. All the breaking news right here on the Ravens Rundown. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you never miss a moment and you're the first to know exactly what's going on with your favorite team. It's the Ravens Rundown each and every day, and it's powered by Chat Sports. Subscribe now, youtube.com/RavensTV, and turn on those notifications. Last name on the trade market for you that we bring you from the New Orleans Saints is Marquez Callaway. Now, this one you may not be as familiar with as the others, but this is kind of a sneaky good find. Here is the breakdown on Callaway. New Orleans' offseason activity has bumped Callaway into a positional battle to make the Saints' final 53-man roster. Callaway is a quality NFL receiver that deserves more snaps and targets than he'll find in New Orleans. The Ravens could provide Callaway with that opportunity. Here are the numbers from Callaway, and you can see last year, his second year in the league, was a big bump from 2020 with nearly 700 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns. He was really good. And, I mean, for Callaway, here is somebody that was an undrafted free agent in 2020. What a story to go from undrafted to the season that he had last year, starting 11 games. And he's the cheapest of any of these options. 1 year, $898,000 left on his current deal. That is a steal. For me, that of these options, of the 3 guys we're talking about, this is the one, to me, that makes the most sense. It's not going to cost you a whole lot. He's the youngest of the 3, and the ceiling might be the highest of the 3 as well, as He just started to get opportunity, really, taking a big step last year. So with that said, if you had to pick between the three names that we mentioned today, who would you choose? Would you go with Nelson Agholor? Would you go with Darius Slayton? Or would you go with Marquez Callaway? My guy, I'm riding with Callaway. I'd be typing MC in the comments if it were me. What about you? If it's Agholor, type NA. If it's Slayton, type DS. If it's Callaway, type MC. Let me know in the comment section below if you had to pick between one of these three receivers. Also, another idea would be the free agent market, where you wouldn't have to give up anything at all when it comes to assets, unlike a trade. And there's still some decent receivers in the free agent market as well. Odell Beckham Jr., who just won a Super Bowl with the Rams, Will Fuller, Emmanuel Sanders. The newest addition to the free agent market, Demarcus Robinson, who was recently released from the Raiders, won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs, had a good career there playing with Patrick Mahomes. And then Cole Beasley is also available as well. So the Ravens, if they do want to seek out a wide receiver, whether it's free agents or trades, even at this point, even this late in the ball game, as we get so close to the start of the regular season, there are still plenty of options for the Ravens to pursue when it comes to that wide receiver position. Thanks for joining us here on the Ravens Rundown. As always, give me a follow on Twitter at Tyler Jones Live. Love hearing from you guys there, and we'll see you next time here on the Rundown.